My goodness, this is hands down, just as we predicted, the busiest month we've had in the past 2 years. Just about everything and anything was released, from new screen technologies to perennial favorites. If you missed it, here's everything released in 2023, October. MeBook M7. Pretty much the greatest thing the company has made since the Boyu Mimas back in 2018. This unit is what is seemingly the pinnacle of the company's potential. SD card, audio, flush screen and bezel, key mappable, physical page turn buttons, Google Play, and it looks and feels great. They have been struggling to rediscover their identity after taking 2020 off to reassess their own situation internally, and I think they might have found exactly what they've been looking for. Xiaomi Ink Palm Pro. Xiaomi basically started the trend of mini e-readers, and they aren't cell phones. Many manufacturers have tried to follow suit, and Xiaomi has essentially started to lag behind the competition. So what they did was took a step back and beefed up an already existing unit, the Ink Palm 5. This is the Pro. It features additional storage, a more refined battery, and they've done away with that silly reflective plastic backing and instead went with a modest aluminum look. They've also rectified the glass screen situation a little bit by giving you a free matte screen protector in the box. Honestly, it's an overall much needed refresh to the unit. BigMe Read. A rare miss by BigMe. The BigMe Read actually does everything well except for reading. When it comes to actually reading books and manga, it seemingly struggles to find any sort of proper display. There's staining, ghosting, and it's just not very fast, even in the fastest possible mode. However, on the flip side, much in tune with the BigMe lineup of hyper-powered devices, audio and video on this unit is perfectly fine and actually excels. However, in the end, it is a compact, well-priced exhibition of the company, and surprisingly the first e-book reader they've ever made. Perhaps they could have potentially at least named the device a little bit differently. BigMe again with the Ink Note S. The BigMe Ink Note S is a more economical version of the Ink Note, the only difference being 4 gigs of RAM instead of 6. Outside of that, it's the exact same thing through and through, from the hardware to the software and everything in between. This is both a positive and a negative thing. The positive is that it's $20 to $40 cheaper depending on where you're buying it from, but the negative is that there's no major change. But you do get the same hardware, pen, and specs for a price savings. Pocketbook Verse. Pocketbook Verse is the economical version of the Pro, which we'll cover in a second. There's no Carta 1200, there's no audio, there's no waterproofing, there's no dongle in the box, and the most unfortunate thing is that it's only $40 less than the Pro, which makes it a tough decision. If there was a wider price gap, there might be a little bit more justification to buy this one. It is a little bit of an underperforming unit as well. It does look good and handle well, but there's no speed modes that is user controllable, so at times the device does struggle, but all in all, it is a well put together machine. Pocketbook Verse Pro. The second of the Verse devices released comes in the form of a Pro. Body construction wise, it is a little bit different in a subtle way. They quietly got rid of the SD card on the left side and made the entire thing waterproof. The buttons are in the exact same position as well as the sunken screen. The differences continue on the inside as well. This unit comes with audio capabilities via Bluetooth, but there's no dongle in the box. However, you can connect it to wireless headphones, wireless speakers, etc. This allows you to not only listen to audiobooks, but use things like text-to-speech and a dedicated music player app. iReader Smart X3. iReader is first yet again. This is the X3 Smart. And what's interesting about this is not really the device itself or what it can do, but rather the screen technology that goes into it. It's so new and exclusive that eink employees themselves don't even have any information on it. This is running Carta 1300, which is above 12 or 1250. It offers 27% better refresh along with a 20% increase in contrast, making it literally the best looking e-paper we've ever seen. It is a little bit throttled by the fact that iReader has no web browser, no apps, and no North American or English bookstore, but it definitely does shine through and is incredibly appealing to the eyes. Onyx Boox Note Air 3C. The names just keep getting longer and longer, and there's no better example than this, the Onyx Boox Note Air 3C. This unit takes the now discontinued Tab Ultra C left on the table, except getting rid of things like the pogo pins and actually adding some things to the body, like an SD card. Spec-wise, it is roughly the same as its older brother, except they're labeling this as an e-ink tablet instead of an e-ink tablet PC, dropping the PC suffix. It is running Kaleido 3 on a 10.3, which honestly would have been more of a selling point if not for BigMe having already released 5 versions of Kaleido 3, but it is current and it is running the latest possible tech. Guoyue V6 Color. BigMe takes an unknown and strange approach with this unit, offering the X6 Color Lite to its customers via the Guoyue name. This is the exact same thing as the S6 Color Lite, with some subtle differences to the overall body construction and documentation. And yes, instead of Kaleido 2 on the S6, they're using Kaleido 3. This body has a black front bezel and a gunmetal construction. It does look amazing, and it does offer the same UI as the other BigMe models, so don't expect anything super new. It's just been earmarked for their fighter brand to increase their lineup. iReader Lite 3. iReader comes to the races yet again with a very beautiful 6-inch device this time. A nicely textured matte white body in a compact shell. The Lite 3 is the 3rd generation release of the Lite series. Its sunken screen and bezel with USB-C, contrasting orange power button, and some mystery pogo pins that they still have not sent us an accessory for. All things considered, it does give a good reading experience, even though there's no note-taking capabilities on it, but it does have everything you would expect out of a compact 6-inch device. This month was just insane. The sheer amount of devices and content that was released is unrivaled by anything we've seen this whole year. But for now, this was everything released in 2023, October.